34 plus 58 in your head, how would you do it? What's a quick and simple technique? So, what I like to do is I like to break down the numbers into small numbers. 34 is basically 30 plus 4. 58 is 50 plus 8. Now, it's pretty much straightforward to add 30 and 50. You know that 3 plus 5 is 8. So 30 and 50 adds up to 80. And then 4 plus 8 is 12. 80 plus 12 is 92. And so that's a simple way to add two numbers. So let's try another example. Go ahead and add 69 and 45. So 69, we can write it as 60 plus 9. 45 is 40 plus 5. Now if we add 60 and 40, that's going to be 100. 9 plus 5 is 14. 100 plus 14 is 114. Now let's try some examples involving three-digit numbers. Go ahead and add 176 and 258. So 176 is 100 plus 70 plus 6. 258 is 200 plus 50 plus 8. So first, let's begin by adding 100 and 200. So that's equal to 300. Now, if we add 70 and 50, how much is that? Well, we know that 7 plus 5 is 12. So 70 plus 50 is 120. And what about 6 plus 8? 6 plus 8 is just 14. Now, 120 plus 14, that's 134. And if we add 300 to 134, it's 434. And if you have a calculator with you, you can add 176 plus 258. You should get 434. And of course, it's always good to review the old techniques. You can always add it by hand. 6 plus 8 is 14. Carry over the 1. 1 plus 7 is 8 plus 5, that's 13. Carry over the other one. 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. So you can confirm your answer using that method as well. Here's another example. 549 plus 678. Feel free to pause the video and try that. So 549 is 500 plus 40 plus 9. 678 is 600 plus 70 plus 8. So what's 500 plus 600? Well, we know 5 plus 6 is 11. So 500 plus 600 is 1100 or 1100. Now what about 40 and 70? 4 plus 7 is 11. So 40 and 70 is 110. And then finally, we have 9 plus 8, which is 17. 110 plus 17 is 127. And if you add 127 to 100, that's 227. So 1100 plus 127 must be 1227. And so that's the final answer. Now let's try some examples involving subtraction. What is 75 minus 38? So we can use the same technique. We can break down 75 into 70 plus 5. And 38 is basically 30 and 8. But you need to apply the negative sign to both numbers, not just to 30, otherwise it's not going to work. So now 70 minus 30, that's equal to 40. So we have 40 plus 5 minus 8. Now 5 minus 8 is a negative number, that's going to be negative 3. And 40 minus 3 is 37. So 37 is your final answer. Now what about this? 143 minus 56. Go ahead and work on that example. So we can write this as 100 plus 40 plus 3. And 56, we can write that as 50 and 6, making both numbers negative. Now, 100 minus 50, there's many ways in which you could do this, but let's do 100 minus 50 because that's positive 50. And 3 minus 6, well, that's going to be negative 3. You can do this in many different orders. So you just pick and choose whichever order you feel comfortable in doing this. Now, 40 minus 3 is 37, and 50 plus 37 is 87. So that's going to be your answer for this example. And let's work on an example with 3-digit numbers. Try that. So let's break down 356 into 300 plus 50 plus 6. And negative 189 is going to be minus 100 minus 80 minus 9. So let's start with 300 minus 100. 3 minus 1 is 2, so 300 minus 100 is 200. Next we have 50 minus 80, which is negative 30, since 5 minus 8 is negative 3. And then we have 6 minus 9, which is negative 3. Now 200 minus 30, that is equal to 170. And 170 minus 3, that's going to be 167. And so that should be the final answer. Now you can confirm it by subtracting these numbers by hand. Now 6 minus 9, we can't subtract it, it's a negative number. So we need to borrow a 1 from the 5. So that's going to turn into a 4. We're going to carry over a 1 to the 6, making it 16. 16 minus 9 is 7. Now 4 minus 8 is a negative number, so we're going to have to borrow another 1, making this 2 and making the 4 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. 2 minus 1, 1. So we get 167. So you can confirm it using that technique. Now let's work on simple multiplication problems. What is 5 times 4? So hopefully you've committed this to memory. You know your multiplication tables up to 12. But let's say if you don't know it. What is 5 times 4? 5 times 4 is basically 5 added 4 times. Multiplication, what it really is repeat addition. So 5 times 4 means you're adding 5 4 times. 5 plus 5 is 10. The other two 5s add up to 10. 10 plus 10 is 20. So 5 times 4 is 20. You could also see it this way. 5 times 4 and 4 times 5 are the same. 4 times 5 means that you're adding 4 5 times. 4 plus 4 is 8. The next two 4s add up to 8, and then we have one 4 remaining. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 4 is 20. So you get the same answer. So let's say if we want to find the value of 6 times 5, which is the same as 5 times 6. All we need to do is add 6 5 times or add 5 6 times, whichever is easier. 6 plus 6 is 12, so these two add up to 12 as well. And 12 plus 12 is 24, plus 6, that's 30. So 6 times 5 or 5 times 6 is 30. Now what about 8 times 3? This is simply 8 plus 8 plus 8 3 times. 8 plus 8 is 16. And what's 16 plus 8? Well, 6 plus 8 is 14. So think of 16 as 10 plus 6 plus 8. And if 6 plus 8 is 14 and 10 plus 14 is 24, then 8 times 3 is 24. Now what about this example? Let's use 2-digit numbers instead. What's 20 times 13? Now sometimes it might be useful to think of math in terms of money. So imagine if you have 13 $20 bills. What is the value of 13 $20 bills? Well, you know the value of 5 20s is 100. Another set of 5 20s is another 100. So that's 10 20s you have. So you have 3 20s left over. 3 20s is 60. So at this point, you've added 13 20s. 5 plus 5 plus 3 is 13. So if you add 100 plus 100 plus 60, you have 260. So 13 20s equate to $260. Another way in which you can get that same answer is you can break down 13 into 10 plus 3 and then use the distributive property. 20 times 10 is 200 and 20 times 3 is 60. So 200 plus 60 gives you 260. So that's another way you can do it.